Right, 1 minute today. Yesterday I was on the button, today I'm a minute, because yesterday I was 30 minutes less. So we'll try and cover up for that today. Yesterday was a different day. We'll talk about that. In the meantime, log on and let's see where we go. It's Tuesday, Wednesday. Shirley Reddy's first up, Never Naraidu. Every day changes, somebody new. Woldinathan, Ewart, Woldy from Langaban. Hello Cheryl, hello Vishal, Rampasad joining us. Stangabanger. Tasha, the troublemaker instigator from the KC and the Sunshine Gang. Sunshine Gang. Many of you asking about the Sunshine Gang. It's a group of off-center, die-hard fans of mine. If you want to be on that group, you gotta pay your dues. When I say pay your dues, you gotta be on the live for long enough to know who I am, so you don't ask stupid questions about my glasses and beanies and whatever. I was at Mudis with this. So if you want to be on that group, Kritika is the admin of that group, and she will definitely screen you. Sue Khan joins us, but definitely you gotta be at least a couple of weeks on the live. We're gonna see you commenting, so that we get you on that. Good afternoon, Niroshni Murli, after a long time. Graham Pigeon, the pigeon is on. Vishal says 25 minutes less. Yup, last day was 25 minutes less. Sheldon Murli joins us. Says, how's it, Caro and Yolanda? Samson says hi. Sir Lancelot says, spelling, ma. What is spelling? Everything, evening, guys. Yolanda. Right, good evening. Welcome to the program. It's Caro, and it's what we do every. Raven says Sunshine Gang apparently are a bunch of vampires that sleep in coffins. Maybe it's just a rumor. Well, never nothing is for sure. We'll take it from there and see where we go. But the Sunshine Gang definitely wear the elastic loose, slightly off center, but definitely big fans of mine, and I appreciate them a lot. So that's what you gotta be. Whatever here is true, says Tasha. Yep. Tasha was on the group. She left for some personal reasons, but is back with a vengeance. And one of the key members of the group, as everybody. It's a very small group, rather. It's about 20 some odd, but very great people. You gotta have lots of time and lots of data. Otherwise you won't make it. Good evening, Garth Lester Hoyer. How are you, sir? Shamir Daya says, how's it, mother? And Saras Naidu Anmalay greets us, as well as Lal Hirala. Kritika says she threw elastic away a long time ago. Yep. With me, no elastic is necessary. Go with the flow. Bought my ticket. Well, Shirley Reddy is one of the few people who bought their tickets, by the way. Lancelot, I would think you need another week or so, at least, on the group General of Kritika, and put in your application, and she will monitor you for another week or so. Kritika makes the final call on that based on your commenting, your support on the live, and whatever. We just want like-minded people there. Bank details and PIN code. How's it? Ashwin from PMB. Good evening. Koyilamal from Cape Town, the land of the big white mountain. Gregory Pillay joins us, and Graham Hopt. How about the surname Knight, right? Tasha, I was showing legs for everyone today. You're showing legs and everything else. Good evening, KC. All the great day, says Roger Naidu from United Kingdom, the UK. Google and Moonsami says my elastic is stretched, and Kritika is watching. Sir Lancelot. Right, good evening. We'll do the official welcome just now. And what's spelling? What are you talking about spelling? Who's talking about spelling? Lancelot. What spelling are you seeing? Elastic and all that. Go with the flow. Right, if you just join us as well, before I say good evening, you can see the sponsor advert up there. Today is the marketing for the sponsor. So if you want to support me and my endeavors, if you can do it yourself or recruit someone to sponsor the live, let me know. It'll be much appreciated. How I earn a living. Even Ravi ran away and he's a joke, yeah. Vishal Sai Casey just done my puja, ready to take on corruption. Right, Vishal, you ready? We ready. Why are you looking tired? Well, because I'm not very perceptive there, Kogi Lambal, because you watch me every day. I Casey worried about the guys with the elastic. But good evening, everybody, and I'll pick up from where Kogi Lambal, who watches me every day, knows that. She says I'm looking a bit tired. Well, not feeling that well. Not as bad as yesterday. Yesterday I had a bit of a long story, but I think I'm coming down with a bit of a cold or flu. No, it's not COVID according to me. I don't have the COVID symptoms and a very dry nasal passage. And yeah, felt some flu symptoms today. Took a bit of medication, and yeah, that is why I may be feeling. You can see my eyes are like a bit small. Can't you see? Eyes looking a bit small and cheeks looking a bit the same. And all that. My ears also got a bit inside. That sort of thing. And my back tooth, you can see, is a bit lower than the other one. But anyway, good evening and thanks for noticing. Yesterday the feed was a bit short because I felt a bit off center yesterday. That's the word, slight imbalance. It never happens to me a lot, but when I felt some hot flushes in front of me, maybe menopause, I don't know. So handsome when you got flu, says Imrit. Thank you, Imrit. But I don't spin that way, but thanks for saying that. Yeah, hi Casey. Everyone says Shamini Naidu, Shamini and Thurston. Is Thurston watching? Shamini Naidu, or is it just you? Right, good evening and welcome. We can see can see your eyes through the glass. Yep, see my eyes. Can you see they're small? Please say hi to my son Tashriq. How's it, Tashriq? How are you? How old is Tashriq? Good afternoon, Tashriq. Take care, Casey. I can see your nose looks smaller. Yep, my nose got smaller as well. Even the holes are going to be smaller as well. Welcome. It's day number 138 of lockdown. 138 of lockdown. Wednesday, the 12th of August. We got 10,751 total deaths since our lockdown, since COVID-19 hit the country. Apparently, our peak is still coming end of August, end of September. Peak is still coming end of August, September. Might all those come with old age, brother. Yep, old age, definitely for sure. So we're going to reach the peak, but what's happening with the peak? Let's discuss where we stand with the peak and what's happening there. What about that? Right. Yes, can see the eyes. As long as you can see the eyes, it's good. Then you know my eyes. Can you see? Very good. We both watching Casey. Right, Shamini, welcome. And Thurston as well. KZN now past Western Cape. Right, KZN. Yeah, Western Cape is lagging behind in that sense, which is a good thing. But doesn't matter all of that. He's 7 tomorrow. Fiona Jade Pillay. Oh, happy 7th birthday. We'll wish him tomorrow for his birthday tomorrow. Jade, if you're online, take colostrum. Bro, best for your immune system. Yep. I got a whole can of colostrum. I haven't taken it twice, I think. Tasha, McKellen says hi to Tasha. Right, we're on, so what's the news? We're on day number 137, 138. We had an increase of 76,741 cases from the 11th of August. And Zweli Mkhize making recommendations to the Corona Council to ease lockdown restrictions. So that's where we're going. We're easing lockdown. Any clarity on the tissue issue? Tissue issue will come up just now. Okay, let me just get to it. 15th of August is a Saturday, and that's when the Disaster Management Act ends. Disaster Management Act ends 15th of August. Joan Kidd says, how are you doing? What are you doing? Moo, that means, haha, I used to speak a bit of lingo. I'm an ex-Unit 3B gangster. Okay. Okay. Danny Burmo says, how's it? Glad you're still alive. Yes, I am. Cases are currently declining rapidly, but we're still waiting. So there's mixed views coming up about declining, increasing, depends who you're going to listen to. As Zweli Mkhize says, right, we're going to go to lockdown 2. That's what's going to happen. So let's just cut to the chase. We're going to go to lockdown 2. We're going to ease the regulations. Although we are reaching our peak end of August, September, October. Although we need to remember the models spoke about 48,000 people dying by end of August, September. Okay, it was July, August, then into August, September, now it's October, November. We're going to peak in those months. October, let's call October, November. We're going to peak in those months, but apparently announcement is the next 7 days. Announcement in the next 7 days. Yep, but lockdown or Disaster Management Act officially ends on the 15th. That was what was written down. They say CR is going to address us on Friday. Who knows? I think CR is going to have to address us on Friday because lockdown ends on Saturday. Definitely, I think CR will have to address us on Friday. I'll have to wait for his call before I give him a call again. So I'll probably call him on Monday. I was going to call him today, but I'm going to wait for Monday to call him. Let's see what happens with the lockdown regulations. And it says here, so lockdown 2, by the way, cigarettes and alcohol are going to be available. So Monday, I think, is when bottle stores and all that will open officially. Restaurants, I think, will be able to serve alcohol. Wish the KZN Dolphins could get to those numbers so far, says Brad Bartop. Good one there. So as per recommendations by the NCCCC, National Command Center Council and Cabinet, CR may move, with Cyril Ramon, may move the country to stage 2 lockdown, lift the ban on cigarettes and alcohol because of the decrease of infections. So there is a decrease, then there's going to be an increase, depends on who you listen to. But the bottom line is, this is year for the economy. The peak was mentioned in August, September, KC, during the winter colder period. Our levels are decreasing and recovery rates also gone to 75%. Well, Neville Narayana, I don't believe the figures. I do believe this, that we're not out of the woods. I think there will be more cases. I think, Neville Narayana, I think, who believes this, that the figures are being jippoed because we're going to go into lockdown 2. So you see how it's a mindset. Maybe I'm just a cynic. I don't know. But the figures, 75% recovery rate. I think we're the best in the world. We got a 75% recovery rate. We were told we were going to peak in these months. And yes, Neville Narayana, they said June, July. Then they move it to August, September. How do you get to 48,000 deaths, Neville, if we're decreasing? What model were you fucking on from 48,000 to 10,000? Where are you? The 10,000 even is not correct. I think more people have died. Probably 20,000 people maybe died. Who fucking knows, right? Infections are probably higher. But all the figures to tell us that things are better is because we're going to lockdown 2. Because we are opening up the economy. That's what I feel. We are just the fucking pawns in the center here. And remember, this is what I'll tell you. The lockdown regulations may be eased. The virus is still with us. Whether it's a cold, whether it's a bigger cold, whether it's whatever, the virus is still with us. Don't get complacent and realize that by Cyril going to level 2, the virus also goes to level 2. The virus don't listen to anyone. The virus is still here. Vishal Singh, decrease in virus but increase on road deaths from next week. Correct, that will also happen. All other deaths will happen. Everything, life will go on. Crime. And today, sadly enough, three robbers in Westwell were shot dead. What a fucking shame. I saw the pictures of them, brains blown out, lying on the floor. It was very, very sad. I almost wanted to cry. I really, really wanted to cry. We have concluded only 25% of the tests that we were conducting a few days ago. So the numbers will be less. That's right, Sir Lancelot. Numbers are less because we're testing less and all of that. Nevin says, I certainly do not believe that our figures are completely accurate, especially considering recently deceased bodies are being given to families. That's right. Nara says, Casey, we have already been told in the Defense Force to relax restrictions from Monday. Yep, so the word is going out. I think Monday you will be on level 2. I think Cyril will address us on Friday. And this is South African. Everything is made up. Yeah, everything is made up. Yep. Gregory Pillay says, did the amount of testing stopped? Because now yep, our lifestyle just need to change. Kogi Lambal, you are correct. Sitting on 10 points at the moment. The ANC can't even count. Well, Zuma can count. What do you mean the ANC can't count? Don't make statements like that. So, level 2, ladies and gentlemen, that's where we're going to be. Alcohol will be available on Monday. So don't start crying for alcohol. Don't go fucking stock up. They won't go back to closing. The alcohol will never be closed again. Can I say that? Cigarettes will come back for people who are dying of cigarettes, which is a great thing. Economy is definitely going to improve in that sense. But to you guys and everybody else, just treat it as the virus is still here and we all have to be safe. I think going forward for the next, by the way, the airports won't be open for long distance travel or whatever. There's still a lot of other restrictions will stay in place, but you'll just have a little bit more freedom in that sense. I think the biggest thing is the alcohol and the cigarettes. I think we can manage the way we are, but just need the alcohol and the cigarettes. Am I right, guys? Fuck the flying if you can't fly overseas or whatever. You know, we can't afford to fly overseas. Alcohol and cigarettes, we in the fucking game. That's what I see it. Mudus, I was saying your name wrong, right? Mudus Ritus says, Western Cape stopped testing under 55 long ago, as these numbers from the promise they, yeah. Remember how Western Cape was fucking flying? KZN is seen as the hotspot or epicenter, but we're going to level 2. Does that make sense, right? They are smoking Zol, Goof Cabinet, black market, Guai's prices right down, going cheap, good in case. Yep. Well, there is indication, Timoleon, that obviously it's changing. Yes, Casey, thanks for the 10 points. Kogilamma is on 10 points. Kogilamma is on a roll. Things are happening for her. We will set an increase. We will see an increase of infection after stage 2 is lifted. I can see that coming as well. I can come to Joburg, says Kritik. Of course, so we got the reunion plan, social distance. Of course, show our thighs and our legs from a distance. Vare drops are back. Yes, we have only 2 cigarettes and alcohol, and we on. Yep, that's a fact. Whatever situation we're in, cigarettes and this thing is. Sanjit Bhagwandin joins us from Vicksburg, Lesotho. Pretend as though you have the virus. Correct, Jackie Munsami. So I'm going to even advise you every day to be careful. Act as if you have the virus. As maybe it's the optimist in me. However, I feel our economy is going to recover quicker than we think. There are more money that we think on average being hidden in society. Well, never Naraidu, that's a good point to think in that way. Keeps us positive at least. I will come with critical. Vishal says damage is done already, but too late opening economy. 30% business closed already. Well, I think Vishal Singh, that was definitely going to be look, Vishal Singh says too late. If Cyril Ramaphosa opened to lockdown 2 a month ago, we'd fucking be grabbing his balls and telling him he's a cunt, right? So in that I can understand. There never was going to be a right way. I personally think they handled the lockdown and the staging fine. I personally believe that the staging and moving of the lockdown was right. That's my belief. I don't believe in the cigarettes and the alcohol ban. It's the worst shit thing they did. But in terms of that and juggling the economy, my version is they got that one right, or they did it the right way. New Zealand was on level 2 for the past 2 months, just raised to level 3 today as new infections appear. Well, Never Naraidu, Naresh Sirup, sorry, I think the government has budgeted for the deaths. They're budgeting that people will die. But it's a trade-off. Remember, we're not at 30,000, 40,000 deaths. We're at 10,000 deaths. Okay, I have a few thousand, 15,000 deaths. We're under the number. So 40,000 expected. If we get to 30,000, government has won. You can start by getting up and dancing with your pajama shorts. Nope, no dancing. They're having decreased testing, therefore numbers appears to be down. Yep. Well, we've already been through that. We know they've jippoed the numbers. Or your big boy balls. These numbers are just raw data. Right. Numbers. Right. Today in the program, we're going to discuss some things. And we're going to stick, for those new people who joined us, we'll stick to certain topics. We're going to continue our discussion on the ANC, NEC top 6. Jesse Duarte is on the menu. We're going to go to Mr. Zakir Naik, the Muslim radicalist, who speaks about wife beating in the Quran. We'll talk about that. My show, Don Dala with the Masala, coming up as well. And yeah, and remember my advert there if you want to join. But Casey, you know it all. Where's Kelly and NDZ holidaying where? Let's not talk about those. We're going to talk about some important people and the school feeding scheme, if I can talk to you about that, if we get to that. Right, the next 5 to 10 minutes, we're talking about the NEC top 6. We are getting to learn about the NEC top 6. Who's the top 6? We had Cyril Ramaphosa, Gwedi Mantashe, Jesse Duarte, Paul Mashatile, Ace Makashule. Who was the 6th one? Somebody give me the 6th one. Paul Mashatile and David Mabuza. David Mabuza. That's the NEC top 6. Right. Yesterday we discussed David Mabuza, who is he's allegedly has instigated political killings. By the way, David Mabuza was a Zuma boy, 2007, and he canvassed for votes for Zuma. That's how he got Zuma into power. He's a Zuma boy, got into power. He also canvassed for CR7. CR7 won by 200 and some odd votes, and David Mabuza was instrumental in getting those votes for this thing. We're learning a bit about politics, so we all educate each other. The NEC top 6, who makes the decisions for the country, who makes the decision of the president, who can recall Cyril Ramaphosa, by the way, the NEC. And then there's the top 6. The National Executive Council is about 100 members, I think. And there's a top 6. So we're trying to discuss each one. We figured out yesterday David Mabuza in any real world will never be near government, right? David Mabuza, for what he's done and what he's been doing and whatever. All alleged, by the way. Nothing is confirmed, as is in South Africa. But even on the allegation, we're not going to talk about the Nolan. We're talking about something now. We're talking about, for those of you who are on the program, often we're talking about something now. We stick to the topic. It's the NEC Top 6, Jesse Duarte. If you want to comment, you comment on that. You don't have to block you because you're not listening to what we're doing. We have constructive discussion. We break up the hour into certain segments and we try and stick to that segment, right? We're not discussing the vaccine and all of that. Please listen to that. If you're not going to listen, I'll be forced to block you because you don't listen, right? So we want to educate each other, and we want to be able to like you see, I just blocked Akesh Madan Lal because he's talking some other shit. I don't know what he's talking about. Fly attack. I had to block him because you don't listen. I want to be able for us to learn and from each other and see your questions or whatever. Tanisha is saying Russian bear. Kogilam says, so I don't know why Tanisha is not listening as well. Stick to the topic. If you don't want to discuss it, walk away. Jesse is a clever one and survived Zuma, says Wally Smith. So the topic is on Jesse Duarte. By the way, the most important thing I want to talk about Jesse Duarte, brother. Jesse Duarte has been in the ANC a long time. She's a struggle stalwart from back in the day. And last year in November sometime, Jesse Duarte made some hectic comments. Tim Olin says David calls on the cat, but we're talking about Jesse Duarte now. Jesse Duarte called the ANC. This is a ANC top 6 member, stalwart of the ANC. Called the ANC racist and tribalistic. Racist and tribalistic. She even went to great lengths to say how the ANC marginalizes people, minority races, and how they even speak of Indians in certain ways and certain languages like Amakulu or something like that. What are your thoughts on that, on Jesse Duarte and her act? Remember, she's coming from the belly of the beast of the ANC, coming in from the belly of the beast of the ANC. And she is telling us, remember, for someone from inside the ANC to call out the ANC to be racist and tribalistic, that says a lot. That's not somebody from the outside screaming. That's somebody from the inside. She warned that the ANC must realize that unity was not just a slogan. She says, unless we are prepared to unite the nation as the ANC, we will not see our future in 1,000 years. This is Jesse Duarte's comment. Unless we are prepared to unite the nation as the ANC, we will not see our future in 100 years. How's that? Jesse Duarte, this is a top 6 member. They made her quiet with a tender, right? So my next point is, from November, when she made these comments up till now, Jesse Duarte is nowhere in the picture. You haven't heard anything from Jesse Duarte. She hasn't called out the ANC. The ANC hasn't responded to her. Jesse Duarte is gone fucking quiet. Jesse Duarte is another untouchable. Well, yep, I don't necessarily like Jesse Duarte, but the thing is, she's made all these allegations. She's made these claims. I don't think they're unfounded. She's a man, says Nicholas Padiachi. Well, she's there in the belly of the beast, and Nicholas says he got proof. And she's called the ANC out for these things, which we all know. I think, and we as a minority in this country realize where we are, that we're not going to get in. But she's called them out. She's been there. Called them racist and tribalistic. So she's part of the NEC top 6, which we were discussing, and they all are so corrupted. We discussed David Mabuza yesterday, and we discussed Jesse Duarte today. Jesse Duarte, and tomorrow maybe we'll spend some time on. We did a whole show. New name is Jesse's, and do it. Tomorrow we'll spend a whole program discussing Ace. Zum, like Ace Makashule. Ace Makashule, you need a whole book, gangster state. You need a whole book, whole hour to discuss, probably more to discuss Ace Makashule. Now, if you want to know about corruption, you got Ace Makashule, you got David Mabuza, The belly of the beast of the ANC top 6. Jesse and the other 5 are all in cahoots. They're eating the same pie. Yep! Of course they're eating the same pie. We'd be stupid not to think that they're eating the same fucking pie. We'd be really fucking stupid to think that. Let me do this. Go there. So I'm just bringing in this. There we go. Right, so Jesse and the other 5 are all in cahoots. They're eating the same pie. Right, so I just brought in a sponsor from Cool Air who gets one day. The first day is the major sponsor of the show, and then we bring him in on the other days as well. It's a 5 days. So if you want to advertise with us, that's how it works. The first day you're the main sponsor, and then we bring you in after that so that we get more airtime for the next 5 days or so. Pro Air conditioning and refrigeration. All I'm managing to pay my tuck shop account, buy my bread and milk. So if you got someone who wants to advertise on my platform as well, please do so I can pay the lady at the tuck shop and support small businesses. Right, don't forget my show, Don't Dala with Masala. Ticket sales are very slow, by the way. You guys are not buying. I'm a bit disappointed at this point in time. I think Vishal Singh has tried to buy his ticket. I don't know if Nicholas Padiachi has bought his ticket. I don't know if Gregory Pillay has bought his ticket. Levin Padiachi, Levin has been advertising my show, never bought his ticket. Wally Smith has bought his ticket, as I think. Elaine Boardman, did you buy a ticket? Book the day out for that one. Ace is putting in leave for that one. Can be a long discussion on Ace Makashule, but we'll try and do that. Let's see, without me getting myself in trouble or getting shot. How's it, Kribi? Gregory Pillay saying Pro Air. Don't dollar with the masala. My tickets are 100 Rand to watch the show on your device. www.cricket.co.za. Casey, do you think this country will ever get good leaders? Not for the next 15 to 20 years, unfortunately. Listen here. Here's the thing. Most of you here, in our lifetime, we're not going to see good leadership. Kogi Lambal asked a good question. I suppose I supported the first show. I'll support you against us. Never narrated. Thank you. SA must just do it for the China. Yeah. Mohammed says she wasn't getting to chow, so she speak on them. Now she went quiet because she's chowing again. Yep. I suppose that's right, Mohammed Ismail. You can't say that. Elaine Boardman is saying yes, she's going to buy a ticket. Elaine Boardman, remember, I can see your name. I can see who's bought tickets. I can see that. So you can't fucking bluff me. I know about that. By the way, before we move on to the other thing about Zakir Naik, the Muslim radicalist, Muda says she's a typical new age politician. Everything is racist. Yeah, well, there you go. I've been busy. Did not busy yet. What? Did not busy yet. I've been busy. Did not busy yet. Shirley says, come on, guys. You're seeing Casey every day. Buy your tickets. Come on, Shirley. Yeah, Shirley bought the tickets. I know that. Molly says, Mother, I need to come clean. I haven't bought yet. I will buy 27th. All right, Wally is only one coming clean here and saying he hasn't bought yet. Who else coming clean? And we're going to name you all and shame you all after the show. Reina says she's a last minute buyer. Yeah, last minute. We have to charge you extra for last minute, Reina. We will buy on behalf for 29th August. The buyers, I buy my ticket. One free service for Casey's car. Yup, you're going to get a free service. Of course, engine overhaul. What do you mean service? Engine overhaul. I told you this the other night. If the ANC lose the next election, we are fucked. Vote for the ANC. No, Donovan. Donovan got a bullshit story and vote for the ANC. I'd rather have them than the EFF. Donovan, the ANC will never, hear me, never lose the next election. No matter which party you vote for, they will never lose the next election. You can take that, I'll bet my fucking last brief on that. Chris bought first and the second. Kogi Lamba wants to come clean as well and says she didn't wash her panties for the last couple of days. I don't know why that is, but she wants to come clean and admit that. Right. Very quickly, in the next 5 minutes, the National Schools Feeding Scheme, NP something like that. By the way, the government, this is where I think fucking money is gone here. 50 million, do you know there's a school feeding plan? There's actually money set aside for the school feeding plan, which is why they were opening the schools. Here's the amount, 50 million Rand. I want someone to do the maths for me quickly. They bought 300 food trailers. Rajiv is also coming clean. Right, who's coming clean? Come clean and admit here. Otherwise, we name and shame you all after the show. Someone do the maths for me. The government has bought 300 food trailers to to do the food scheme. 50 million rand. Can someone do the maths for me? I think it's 160,000 something. I don't have a calculator on me. And I can't do the zero. Someone do the maths for me. 50 million. Let's do 50 million. Stupid calculator. 50 over 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Divided by 300. What is that figure? 166,000. Why your brief must be well old? That's why you're building a last brief. Yeah. What is the amount? 166,666. Yeah. Is that the figure? I got a figure here. It's 1,000, 6,000, and 66,000 and 666. Yeah. 166,666. Right. Our Zuma would say 16,000 and 6,000 and 666. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, am I being a cynic again? Our government has bought food trailers or caravan trailers to do the soup kitchens, which I'm assuming is an empty trailer with stuff inside to serve generally soup. What they do, they're not cooking food in there. 166,000. Let's call it 170,000. Let's call it 170,000. An average food trailer will cost about 30,000 rand to produce. It's a 1.8 meter by 2 meter, 2.4 meter, equipped with utensils and dishes and whatever. 30 to 40,000 rand, you can get it made. Alan Ryder says, "Hi bro, I'm only collecting lottery end of August, sorry." Hey, shame man, how are you surviving after? Alan, you need help, just call me man, I'll try and help you out. You talking the truth, brother. Yep. 50 million rands they are going to spend. They've already procured. Procured means, I hope it's not like that fucking, we have to see this food trailer or this truck that's going to do the thing. So we'll have to try and follow that. By the way, Nara says Cape Town was the only province that continued with the school feeding scheme right through the... Yep. Cape Town, Western Cape, and people still say the DA is a fucked up party that's fucking up the DA. Fucking up the Western Cape. Apparently, Western Cape has got a lot of problems. Well, they've got a lot of problems, but I think other problems have a lot more problems than the Western Cape. Sounds right. Yeah, Mark of the Beast. Yeah, Mark of the Beast. 166,000 waiting for the 350 to buy ticket. Says Sandra Munsam. Hey Sandra, I have to buy you a ticket. It'll be some bicycles fitted with a little trailer. Probably, dude. I can't understand how they're spending that amount of money on the trailer. Once again, I think money has been made. I would like to see this food trailer if we can. Let's see if I can follow the story. There's just so many things happening in the news. You don't know where to fucking go. Which one to look at. There's things happening all. By the way, Zondo Commission is still on. Prasa is still in the center of it. The amount of shit that's coming out of there is not even fucking real. How many of you really know what's happening there? Going to be like the mobile ambulance. Well, Jackie, I don't know. I can't tell you about that. But here's the other thing that comes to mind. For every food truck you have, you need a fucking bucky or something to pull the trailer. Am I right? Or does it move itself? I didn't think about that. 300 trailers needs... Does it come with a bucky? I wouldn't think so. Let's just have a thought about that. 300 trailers, food trailers. Who's going to pull this trailer? I never thought about that. If it's a food truck, a food trailer, I don't think it's a food truck. Then if it's a vehicle with a back, 166,000 won't be enough then. Because that's a vehicle. Vehicle costs about 120,000 maybe, probably more. There'll be new vehicles. Guys, give that some thought. What do you think of that? These are soup kitchens, that's right, soup kitchens. They're not cooking food, biryani and all that. They're just dispensing food, soup. Food will be prepared somewhere and coming to them. Interesting to see who got the tender for the food trailer. Yep, cup hot water and a cup of soup. Yeah, and a cup of soup trailer. It's a soup kitchen, that's what it is. Or sandwiches, basic stuff. Who's going to pull the trailer? Yes, 300 trailers will need a horse to go with. Yep. Never thought about it. Did you think about that? There we go. This is what we think about here. Right. Our next topic coming up, and it's going to be right. So I'll give you like a minute to get my feed right and to listen to me and whatever. We were discussing yesterday. You can start slowing down your comments. We can do a bit of listening now. And I don't want any stupid comments coming out of this. It's a sensitive topic, but I raise sensitive topics and we must be able to talk about it. I don't want any insensitive or stupid comments coming out. It is a religious topic. Naresh says food trailers, definitely corruption. The SNDF have food trailers for Africa to assist in wartime. Those can be used as a soup kitchen. There you go, Naresh. There you go. And Naresh Sarup is talking about somebody in the defense force. Why can't we deploy what we have? 50 million rand has been gone, by the way. If you didn't know, 50 million rand. And there's Naresh Sarup, sailor boy, who's in the army or the navy. And he says the SANDF has food trucks to use during wartime. What a great suggestion then, Naresh. And look at that, guys. The army has the food trucks, it has the vehicles, it has the capacity. But we decided to go buy new trailers because our army is busy. Look, guys, Naresh, I think you're also wrong there, Naresh. Maybe you need to understand that our army is busy at Beit Bridge, the borders, stopping the cigarettes from coming into this country, stopping the illegal immigrants. And obviously, they're also on duty at the border there by Lesotho because Lesotho is ready to launch an attack on this country. So our army is busy there. And they need those food trucks and all that. Brahm in Limpopo, the MEC paid 64,000 for a shack. Right, there we go. There we go. Yesterday on this program, yesterday on this program, we spoke about, not yesterday, the other day, we spoke about Monday. We spoke about something very controversial, inverted commas. We're talking about wife beating coming up in the next couple of minutes. But on Monday, I spoke about support for male husband bashing. We spoke about bringing that to the fore where there is no support structure for men who are verbally, emotionally, physically abused by their partners, spouses. There we go. So quite a lit conversation. A lot of people agreed with it. One guy came on and gave me a shit story there that I'm not talking about women, that I'm putting attention on men. We called him out for what he was and we moved on from there. So that's got some attention. I've got a lady, the tissue issue is coming up here. Tissue issue is coming up with Zakir Naik, Dr. Zakir Naik. And there's a lady who is in Johannesburg with me, wants me to join with her to try and highlight the plight that men find themselves in. Look, we're not denouncing, I'm not moving away, I'm not saying women's issues doesn't exist. We're saying these issues also exist and nobody's giving any voice to it. So she contacted me and said, can I help her to air this and bring it out in the open? I said, well, there we go. Right, the next couple of minutes, it's about 2 minutes. Listen to this clip. It's a video clip. You'll hear the audio quite clearly. This is, and if you haven't heard of him, he's very famous, Dr. Zakir Naik. He's a pro-Islamic. He believes Islam, the Quran, is the only true religion. Every time he goes on a platform, he'll quote you any verse from the Quran. And he's ever willing to tell you why every other religion is a bunch of bullshit and why the Quran and the Prophet Muhammad are the only true religion in the world. So here he's talking about, he made some comments about wife beating. And that is in the Quran. And he quoted from the Quran, by the way. And here in this clip, he's trying to justify, this is a follow-up to his original statement about wife beating. So listen up.
The Indian media also alleged that Dr. Zakir Naik encourages wife beating or wife bashing. This is again an allegation and it is totally untrue. Nowhere did I ever say that Islam encourages wife beating or wife bashing. Yes, there was a question asked to me and I handled open question answer session that what does the Quran say regarding wife beating? And I said that the Quran says in Surah Nisa, chapter number 4, verse number 34 and 35, that when your wife does not listen to you, then you should warn her.
Warn her.
If yet she does not follow your instruction, then you refuse to share the bed. And yet if she doesn't listen, then the Arabic word there is tarba. That means beat her lightly. And I said in my answer that this is a symbolic beating. And the explanation is given in the sayings of the Prophet ﷺ, in the authentic hadith, that it is like beating with a miswak, beating with a toothbrush, which is a thin stick.
Toothbrush.
In today's age, I would say beating with a handkerchief. Now imagine when you beat with the handkerchief, surely it will not hurt. It is more of a symbolic beating. And the Prophet said, you should not beat your wife on the face. You should not beat on the body which leaves a mark, indicating that this beating is only symbolic. And this symbolic beating is to give an ultimatum that, see, I have told you certain things and you're not listening.
Not
Then
listening.
you stop talking to her.
Stop
Then
talking.
you refuse to share the bed with
Don't share
her.
the
As a
bed.
last resort, this is an ultimatum which is a symbolic beating. This is what the Quran says. Nowhere does Islam ever allow wife passion or beating your wife where you can leave a mark or it actually hurts her. This is more of a symbolic beating to give an ultimatum, to give a last and final warning. So the media is quoting me out of context and is actually maligning me. Islam is a religion which gives rights to the woman, and no religion in the world gives as much of rights to the woman as Islam. For more details, and yet if she doesn't listen.
Right, so did you guys hear that? I can play some of it again. So just to... Good evening, Shahid. You join us at the right time when we're quoting the Holy Quran here from Zakir Naik. Just to give you the first part again. So he's encouraging and saying, okay, to beat. So he says,
then instruction, then you refuse, if yet to you, then that when your wife does not listen,
so he says, when your wife does not listen,
then you should warn her.
you must warn her. First
If
step,
yet
you warn her.
She does not follow your
If she
instruction,
doesn't follow
then you
instructions,
refuse to share.
then you refuse to share the bed with her.
And
Punishment
yet
number
if
2.
she doesn't listen,
Yet if she doesn't
then
listen,
the Arabic word there is tarba.
Tarba.
That means beat her lightly.
her lightly.
And I said in my answer that this is a symbolic beating.
It's a symbolic
and the
beating.
explanation is given in the sayings of the Prophet ﷺ, in the authentic hadith, that it is like beating with a miswak, beating with
a
toothbrush,
miswak,
a thin stick. In
thin
today's age, I would say beating with a handkerchief.
like a handkerchief.
Now imagine when you beat with the handkerchief, surely it will not hurt.
So you
It
can
is
beat
more
her
of
with
a
a
symbolic
handkerchief.
beating. And the Prophet said,
And he says,
you should not beat your wife
On the face, mustn't
You
place,
should not
no
beat
marks.
on the body which leaves a mark, indicating that this beating is only symbolic. And this symbolic beating is to give an ultimatum that, see, I have told you certain.
Wait, Moeddin Hussein is saying absolutely. So I don't know whether Moeddin is agreeing with him or not. So let's hear Moeddin. Moeddin, you said absolutely twice, 100%. What are you saying? Are you saying that's what it is and it's right? Like you said, hit with a tissue or small stick, beating with the... Devin, let's not give silly comments here. I don't want it to become a comment like that. Moeddin Hussein, don't keep saying 100% and hands and this. What do you mean by that? Say the man is correct. Say that's what the Quran says and there's no issue with it. Flipping barbaric and ape man tendencies, why say on the face if the Quran condemns wife beating? Leon says, Casey, I have no issues with him explaining what his religion allows and don't. Casey, I see no issue in him explaining what his religion... No, did I say there's any issue? I'll have an issue with it. I'm just giving you his... Moeddin Hussein agrees. So there you go. We have various... and he's a Muslim. He's agreeing. Maybe you can tell us why you agree. So I've got my own version. I'm not going to give you my version. If you can have a debate about it or learn about it, let's be listening. Moeddin, tell us why. You see, my first problem there is if you come in a society, and me, I'm the one who first makes issues about it. But the wife must listen to the husband. Isn't that the first step in terms of who's higher and who's lower? He says that the wife doesn't listen to the husband. So let's start there. Let's leave the beating out, right? So he says if the wife doesn't listen to the husband, then he stops talking to her, then he stops sharing the bed with her, then he beats her lightly. Let's start there. Let's leave the beating out. Isn't that in itself a problem? Because that means a man can say whatever he wants. For example, he tells her, don't go to your mother's house, and she doesn't listen. Let's start there. Let's not get into too much of a debate. Moidin says it's correct. A miswa is a length of a pen, says Feroz Garib. Look, also Muslim people, allow us to understand and don't just defend if you want to defend, if I can make that say. This is not a religious battle. This guy is also, as far as I'm concerned, a bit of a radical. The way he said it originally and the way he's saying it now is not the same thing. Shahid says, why, when they don't listen after the third time, then slander with a danda, says Abdul. You're a slumber, I'm worried. This O is trying to describe beating in a good way. How can a beating of the sort be? Well, there we go. Okay, so the Quran says the man and bear wife, then what does the Quran say about a man does wrong and not listen? It's emotional abuse, says Kogi Lambal. Kumeshni Mudli says, hide all the hankies. He's spinning his statement. What happened to communication? That's what I'm getting on. So Moideen was with us, and Moideen, we don't have an argument to you. We just want to understand this. I don't agree with this guy, but if it's in the Quran, that's what it says. Do other Muslims, the Muslims who are on here as well, do you agree with it or do you differ? Are all the Muslims who are here agree? And I'm not going to judge you. That's your own version. You have a reason. No one has a right to beat anyone. We are not property. Well, but Tasha, it depends on the time where you were and the religion you are in. If your religion tells you that, you need to follow that. You can't tell them that. That's their religion. Like the Mormons or whoever, people living far away, that's their own way of living. If a Muslim says that, that's what it is. Symbolic, but the man lifting his hand on a woman may lead to more. Well, that's the other thing. Depict is how far with the tooth. By the way, if you don't take a toothbrush and hit someone or a small stick, you can do some damage depending how hard. Miswa, he says, is like a small pen. It's a marriage. There should always be understanding. Oh, we are not. Where's my Muslim brothers? Feroz Gaibi says he agrees. Agree with what? I said so many things. What do you agree with? If you're going to comment, don't say I agree or don't agree. I need to know what you don't agree with. Are we not living in a society where men and women, wife are equal? Well, Kugelan, remember also, different societies, different cultures have different ways of life. Sometimes we don't want to subscribe to the Western way of life because it's a Western way of life, not our way of life, not how we do things. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Sometimes we want to take our own things and put it on. What if the Muslim people and Muslim women are okay with it? Why are we speaking for them? What's your view on that? Danny Burma says you can never another human being. You cannot control your partner and tell them what to do. I was not born with my husband, so it does not right. Roshan Man says the woman has a choice of running away by the stage 3. Can we please pour a shot brandy instead? Ashil Tularam. Ashil, you sound like a slumber. Now you're coming to pour a shot. Give us your view, Ashil. Come on, don't be. Look, I know there are a lot of Muslims, other Muslims watching. Comment at least. We're not going to take you on. I respect your view. If you say you believe you agree with him, I don't have a problem with that. I'll have a problem with him, but I won't have a problem with you. I'll have a problem with what I feel is right on my standards, my version, my understanding. I finished change it. Put the total of the masala. Yeah, put it here. My wingman is here. Look, and it's also a journey of understanding. I'm not here to promote religious intolerance. So if you're going to comment properly. I thought this was pretty interesting in the month we are, Women's Month, women abuse, gender-based violence, all of that. I thought this was, I'm not picking on Islam. I'm picking on it now because we are in this era of this. It wasn't an agenda. It has to do with the month we're in. Vishal Singh, I totally disagree. It isn't the same person you fell in love with will swim the deeper seas, whatever. And I see that. Sudan says most properly the soft beating could mean something else. It's worse in India. The woman doesn't have a right, or they are subservient to the husband so much if their husband. Leon Chinia, you must be also have a point there, but it's not written in scripture and spoken out as law. It might be happening even in South Africa. Women are being kept subservient in all cultures. I don't disagree with you there, but it's not something that he is quoting as in law, as in as in prescribed by God Almighty. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Danny Burma says people must learn to live in the now, not according to how things were. I feel sorry for those poor. Lucy says, HKC, I'm late. What about the slum? What about the slum? Shirley Reddy says, hi Tyler. Tyler came to this thing. Where's my slum brothers? They fucked off. Come on guys. Why you run away now? Why would you want to hurt someone you love? This is someone's child. Well, that's the essence of right is right, wrong is wrong. Why couldn't it be that if she doesn't talk and whatever, then they have to go see a third person or go see a mulana? Why isn't that like counseling? Is it supposed to be a look? I hear what you're saying, and I don't know. I haven't spoken to any of my Muslim friends, by the way, regarding this. I was going to do it before I came live. I didn't get a chance. As you know, yesterday I was like sick. I thought I was having a heart attack. I got a freaking severe muscle pain. I can't even touch here. I was rubbing it yesterday. Severe muscle spasm right here. I thought I was having a heart attack yesterday. But yeah, just I don't know. If we'll leave it there if no one else wants to talk about it. So Shahid Abdul says, in all fairness, I won't waste my time in hitting a woman, my wife. If she doesn't listen, then I will show her the door. Save myself from all court cases, as women find the best protection from the cops. Okay, so Shahid says he won't do it and sleep on another bed. That's more abuse. Yeah, so Shahid, are you also, thank you for your comment by the way, Shahid, are you also saying that your wife must listen to you, that you are the head of the house? Is that in a cultural thing? Is it that? Because too often the Muslim community is accused, or men, of keeping the woman subservient. Is this in line with that? I'd like to know that. Just let me know that. Because Shahid, you say you don't necessarily agree with him, you won't beat her, but if she doesn't listen, she must walk out the house. Like you'll basically banish her. Is that also acceptable? I like your comment, by the way. Thanks for the comment. It's just debate. I will never come down on you. I'm not going to judge you. Islam is a very beautiful religion. I grew up normally Muslim, big family, attended up in this thing. That's the radical Muslims take the beauty out of Islam. But even that does it speak of beating in the Quran? Does it speak of beating? Does it say that? If it says, was it, for example, let's say even the Bible speaks of stoning somebody, but we don't stone somebody today. Maybe it applied to the time of that time. And Kogi Lambal and other Christians will say that there is stoning in the Bible. You stone somebody to death. It's written in the Bible. But do we stone people today? Is it not something that was in a time and a space that had its own place? Because remember, it's in the Quran. The world is in every religion there are called controversial issues that people of other religions doesn't. If the man is wrong, must you still listen? Yeah, that's a point I'm getting to, Kogi Lambal. When do you listen?
And you're not listening. Then you stop talking to her.
Stop talking to her is also emotional abuse. Is that a way to resolve a problem? Tara says, truly interesting case. You respect their beliefs. I was shocked of the teachings of some of our holy books, even our beloved Bhagavad Gita yesterday. I will share if required. Yeah, share it with me, Naresh. I like to hear. As I pick up things, as I learn things, I'll come to you. I'm not on a bashing scenario here. You can only be submissive if you like. And as Naresh said, other religions have their own things. We have to worry about our shit in our own backyard as well. So when we come up with that, as Naresh said, things in the Bhagavad Gita, Ikshak come from Cape Town. Imtiaz says, I think you get a third person involved, like you said, a learned man, take views from both sides and take it from there. Imtiaz, Yunus, Cape Town. Yep, that's what I would think, Imtiaz. That's what I'm trying to get at. But the essence of the argument as well is if you agree, like Moeddin Hussain, Imtiaz before this said he agrees. On 3 occasions he said agree 100%. Somebody else, he agreed with this man entirely, which means you don't talk to her, you leave the bed, then you hit her lightly, beat her lightly with a darba, and what's the other word? So they agreed entirely. So you are a bit different. You're not agreeing with that. The Bible has spoken about stoning, Jesus then challenged this and asked the perfect one, so the first stone. Communicate. Is it not in Indian culture that our keep women subservient? Yes, Xavier. Yes, Xavier, you're right. It's also there. That's what I'm getting to the heart of. Is it there? Is it other places? Stoning is like mob justice, says this thing. And Xavier said, is it not in Indian culture that our men keep women subservient? By the way, Xavier, when you say in Indian culture that our men keep women subservient, I want you in your own family, Xavier. So Xavier's made a comment, right? So I want you in your own family, like leave the Muslim community. Our Muslim community is different in how the structure is. Let's talk about Hindus. So let's talk about Hindus. Sanatana Dharma. Let's talk about Hindus, right? All you Hindus here, pick the 10 family members closest to you or in your close circle. Ask yourself how many men rule the relationship or how many women rule the relationship. Just think about it. Think about your closest family members, your brother-in-law, your sister-in-law, your auntie, or whatever. Ask yourself how many of those. I'm picking on Xavier's comment here. He says, in Indian culture, the women are subservient. Do you really think in the marriages and friends that you know that the woman is subservient in the relationship, which is what we were talking about on Monday? Let's have the discussion for 5 minutes. Ashayid says, no, firstly, I'm a Christian. I think that we should have an equal understanding. But if they don't listen and keeps on fighting, then the best thing is to set it off, save all. Oh yeah, you mean leave, yeah. So to each their own. Our country makes provision for protection of women. So if she does not, into the beating, hanky, otherwise. So this thing, Dipik says, when do we draw the line from our scriptures? Gregory Pillai says, abuse is abuse. If you can't be through the trick, then the abuse is abuse. If you can't be through the thick and thin, compromising, forgiving. Right, so I want to pick up, we're about to end now. I want to pick on just what Xavier said there about families. Give that some thought and give me some comment now. Of the 10 people you know, 10 families, 10 married people you know, how many of them you feel the men are ruling their wives? You got it? Think about it. And how many of you think in those relationships that the women are actually ruling the relationships? Nowadays, Casey, some woman is wearing the pants at home. Says Kogila. Kogila, I'm the first to comment. Not only in Hindus, but India in general have their way women rule. Not only in Hindus, but Indian in general have the woman rule the relationship. There we go. Women are saying mostly women rule. George Singh says dragon always rules. Nivas Jainu Niyaz says you made a valid point. It was meant for the time. It was a different era. We live in different society. I am a Muslim and never ever heard of hitting my wife. That's ridiculous. Disagree. That does not help. Get a photo. Yeah, well, that's the best comment I got, by the way. Niyaz Jainuddin is what I think, and that's why people like this, like the Zakir Naik, who, I mean, he should never even be talking about it. He should be saying, this is what the Quran says, but we live in a modern time, and this is how we should handle things, and this is what the Prophet said based on that time there. For example, how the Christians say, Jesus said, he without sin cast the first stone, stoning should not be done, always mentioned in the Bible, and take it forward to lead us forward. So Niyaz, your comment is valid. That's what I was trying to get at. But I didn't want to come on and say what I wanted to say. I wanted to see what the discussion is all about and how people see it. And I agree with you 100%. About 70% men rule the household, says Tasha. In the Hindu religion, our wives are the Lakshmis of the house, not treated with sing. They are a family where the men rule, wanted to be the alpha, bark. Women run the show. Most thrive, men were not like 30 years back. Divorce were common. Roshan Man says men are potters. Probably true. A lot of scriptures outdated. People listening. Of the 10 I know, 9 under petticoat government. There we go. So Tipik Ratham says, which I think is fact. Out of 10 people you know, I would say 7 to 8 petticoat government. I would say the woman. That would be my call on that. In most cases, the men are under the petticoat government. To be honest, I think I'm ruling my wife. But to be honest, she rules. Yep. Well, it's what you think and what is reality, eh? The Abi is dropping. Wife says, enough. That now Abi says, okay, last one. The woman, Feroz Gaibi says the woman tell the men not to go to their mother's house. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. That is also emotional abuse in itself. The man as the head. Danny Burma says, I never ruled my relationship. We're all equal. However, I'm divorced, so maybe I should have started ruling. Well, there you go. That in itself shows you where you were wrong, Danny Burma, and where we need to start. Yes, Indian women are the real men in the family. Yeah, that is correct. Who rules your house, KC? When I'm on the stage, I rule, dude. But other times, I'm taking panties off the line, man. What can I do? Give me 20 points, Casey, for my submission. Now, 10 points is 10 points. You're going to lose your 10 points tomorrow. We're going to do a quiz tomorrow. Casey, percentage, 90% of women are the boss. Nara Sarab, 100%. That is the correct percentage. 90% women rule the relationship. So don't talk about being subservient to the men. Absolute fucking bullshit. That is fact. I will tell you that 80 to 90% of women rule, and that's in all cultures. Moideen, like a Casey, let's dance. Thank you, Moideen Hussain. You came back. You kept quiet there for a while, then you came back. Guys, buy your tickets early for my show, please. As I know you're buying tickets, I'm begging you all every day to buy tickets so I can pay the rent at least. So I'm using tactics now. Tyler hasn't got any briefs. Tyler needs porridge. He eats not much of fucking porridge. You know he eats like a fucking horse. If not for me, for Tyler. The poor boy works so hard, and he's got, he likes Cocoa Pops, he likes chicken burgers, and lots of lamb curry, bunny chows. It's a lot. He's a 15-year-old, man. You got to keep him, for the love of peace, let the woman rule. Yep. Casey, you are real. Good night, people. Great show. But thank you, Vishal, from Stanger, for joining us. If you were on and you haven't said anything, at least say good night. Say good night. Thank you for the feed. Catch you tomorrow, bright and early. And because he's one of our new guys, we're going to give him the last hurrah for. Let me get him here and find him. Oh, where's this? Right, say your goodbyes. Say your goodbyes. Don't be naughty and don't be nasty. So we give the final hurrah to Pro Air and the air fryer. Yep. Air fryer. When you hear the air fryer going, I just see my money going. Like you can just see it really flying. Money is just going there. Good night, Yugan Naidu. So I'll stay online just to see all you guys are saying goodbye. If you want to join Casey and the Sunshine Gang, the mental gang, good night, Niaz. Thank you for your great comment. One comment you did was great. Thank you for that, Lancelot. If you want to join the group, contact Kritika, but you've got to be on the feed for quite a number of weeks to get on. Leon says, Quran clearly states heaven is under the feet of your mother. Well, that's a contradiction then. Lucy Cross, I'm getting new glasses, by the way, this weekend. From Nice Eyes in Eldos. Badrinath, Lakshmi Das, sponsoring. Mudis says, Casey, catch you tomorrow. Thank you, Mudis, from Cape Town as well. Thank you from Cape Town. Imtiaz, enjoy your show. Let the music flow. Says, behind every successful man is woman. Woman is woman. From Sure. Clive Raju says, good night. Top feed today. Thank you, Clive Raju. We try to keep it different. We try to keep it up to date. We try to keep it relevant. And your comments are most important. Dala with the Masala, 28th of August. Tonight's show, of course, also one of our past sponsors, Pro Air. Eldos, Moideen Hussain, who fucking came on, gave his comment and he fucked off. We told him to take him on. Hi, Moideen, come on. You ran away. When I wanted to engage with you, you ran away. Alright, thank me to eat the bread. I'm going to have some mutton silver curry tomorrow and some rasam. Because, the man gets a little bit sick, like whole fucking body is falling down, right? So I'm fucking collapsing now. It's a little bit of cold that I got. And a typical man, I'm falling apart. And I need all sorts of medication and whatever. Right, let's buy a ticket. Lucy Cross says, about time, Casey. Yep, it's about time. You've been saying, Moideen says, I'm cool. Thank you, Ashwin. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Remember, always keep it. Mother, the name is KC Caro Charo. Until tomorrow. Remember to always keep it. Mother.